Good morning, everyone. Welcome to my podcast again. What I have here are several guests they're all from Denver. And believe it
Yay.
or not, they're all coming to Hawaii Bachata Expo. I didn't even realize that until this morning. It's like, oh, they're all coming to Hawaii. That's great. I have DJ Sebastian right there, uh, who has DJed at my several festivals. Say hi, Sebastian, so that they know who you are. Put your hand like this. Good.
Hola, hello. How you doing?
And I have Alejandra
Hey.
Fontau
Yeah,
from
that's me.
RNA, a dance company. I have DJ RJ, who might as well be Dominican because he is always there every minute for some reason. Not going to ask why, but okay. And then Renan right there, who is also the co-leader of RNA. And then Alicia Sanchez.
Hi.
Alicia, you're Cuban, right?
Yes, first generation born here.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so welcome everyone. I know we have a lot to talk about for an hour. I think Sebastian is on his lunch, so we might as well make this quick or something. But
I don't have any time limits. I'm good. I cleared my schedule just for you, Rod.
oh, geez, that's very, very flattering. Uh, Ron, I know that you are a very well researched type of guy. So before we talk about dancing and everything, the vaccine, the J&J vaccine, it was pulled off. Why? There was only 6 people that had blood clots. Okay, I can't hear Ronnie. Ronnie, sound.
How's that?
Oh,
Can you
there
hear
you
me?
go. That's better.
Um, in any science situation like that, you're going to, especially, I won't say especially, but it's all political at this point in time. So it ends up with the political statement. And it's an abundance of caution. And even without the political statements, that's also what science is going to do. They're going to back up pretty quick. Time out. Let's look at everything, check the data, check the statistics, so on and so forth before moving forward, which you have seen because it is now again moving forward. The incidence of the blood clot situation is pretty much the same as what we would call a background incidence. It's about what you would see in a normal population when you look at 7 million people or so. So that's the status of the J&J vaccine at the present time. Yeah, I think uh, more and more data comes in, it'll get more and more refined.
Are you all vaccinated?
I am.
Yes.
In the
RNA?
Yep.
process. In
Yeah?
the process.
In process. All
Not
right.
yet. I did get tested for antibodies and I do have them, thankfully. So,
Okay. Cool. Cool. Well, you're all gonna get tested 72
Yeah.
hours before going to Hawaii anyway.
but yeah,
We don't
Yeah.
have any choice,
that's my
man.
COVID.
That's the
Yeah, right.
regulation. So, anyways, we'll start with Alicia. Alicia, uh, I I believe I've met you before because you've been at my festivals.
Yes.
This is back when Renan and Alejandra weren't born yet, but
Right. What do you
uh,
mean? I'm only 21.
but you still look young. I mean, of all of you, supposedly Dr. J, DJRJ here,
Yeah.
had just had a birthday a few days ago, and I look older than him. What the fuck is going on here?
You got to put those weights down. You're working too hard.
So, Alicia, are you pretty much a Denver original, or are you from somewhere
No.
else and you moved to Denver?
I am a Californian transplant, but I am practically a native. I've been here since 96. Um, it was a huge adjustment because I lived at the beach and but
Nice.
now I've embraced the snow and all that. So
And how'd you start in dancing? In a brief manner, Uh,
Briefly.
yeah, briefly, because
Yeah.
we don't have a lot of
So,
time.
been dancing really my whole life, in my kitchen with my family. As far as salsa, my family got me into dancing at an early age, ballet, flamenco, all of that, and just kept dancing. And then, as an adult, going to the clubs and dancing La Rumba, Blue Ice, our local clubs before before socials were a thing. I mean, we had the clubs. So, and it really, the dance scene, um, I've been part of about 11 years. But before that, I mean, I've been dancing and going to the dance clubs since I could.
Yeah, and what made you attracted to bachata?
Well, my first trip to the Dominican Republic changed everything for me, because I realized it was more about bachata was it's just so much about culture and passion, and that really completely changed the way that I went with bachata.
Yeah.
And I mean, and I still go at least once a year to train. Um, yeah, so just a trip there and just getting to know the culture, the background, really the just bachata, the history. I'm fascinated. I became fascinated with the history and just love it, and love to share some of that when I actually do some of my classes, when I do series and things like that.
Nice. And Alejandra,
Yeah.
are you a Denver native or a transfer or something? Or, and how did you get into dancing?
Okay, so no, I'm not a Denver native. I'm not a U.S. native. I was born in Venezuela.
Oh, Venezuela. Yeah.
Yeah. And then my mom and I moved to Florida. So I was there for a while. I did college in Florida. And just, yeah, I lived there for a while. And then we've been here about 3 years. I love it. It's
It's
amazing. It's
four
like a,
years now. You're not
oh
counting
yeah,
the
four.
the
Well,
the year for the.
I get stuck sometimes in the years. I like,
Yeah.
I'll tell people like, oh, I've been dancing 5 years, like for 3 years in a
Like
row.
no.
So yeah, we moved here 4 years ago, and it's just a beautiful place. I love it.
Yeah.
And in terms of dancing, similar story to Alicia. I have been dancing all my life a little bit here and there, not Latin, like I did ballet and jazz and all that good stuff. Um, I mean, I did Latin dancing at like house parties and stuff, and just like every other Hispanic, I thought I knew how to dance until I
Yeah.
went to a dancers' night, and then I was like, oh, I don't know anything. Okay, this is interesting.
Yeah.
um,
Aren't most Venezuelan families or Cuban families, for that matter, they just pretty much dance everything, right?
Yeah, mostly salsa. My mom actually was in huge shock when I decided to do bachata, because in Venezuela, I think the biggest thing, the biggest dance, and like what people do is salsa.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I started Latin dancing in college. Yeah, I just went with my roommate who was Hispanic as well, to a night, and it happened to be a dancers' night, and I just fell in love with it. And then I joined. There was a club at my college, UCF, that it was Latin rhythm. So my first dance that I learned in terms of Latin was Cuban salsa, like rueda. So
Love,
that's where I started.
I love, I love son. I love rueda, not the
Hmm.
rueda where people in groups. I just love the casino style.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Renan, and tell us where you're from. Are you a Denver native, and how'd you get started dancing?
Um, so I spent a lot of time in Orlando. So it was in Orlando, Florida. And then me and Alejandra moved here actually now I think it's going on 5 years, but like it's closer to four, but
Mm,
4 years ago. So that's something that we kind of came here to together for. And then actually the same Latin rhythm, which is the Cuban style salsa, uh, I started like 10, no, actually more like 12 years ago. And I was just doing it for fun. It was kind of a very good social element for me. Like I was like, oh, this is a great way to meet people. And there were super cool moves. Like some of the moves were like either like silly or like getting interactive with each other, and that's kind of what I wanted out of dance. And so that was really cool. I was I don't know if I ever wanted to really like pursue it, because like I came from like a music background, so I was always playing like guitar. There's like a guitar here now, but I never really knew how to move my body. So I was like, I don't know how to move my body. I don't know how to move somebody else's body, but I like music, right? I want to be involved in music.
Yeah.
And then eventually I got exposed to bachata, and then I loved how like guitar was a good primary focus,
Absolutely.
and that's something that connected to me as a musician. I was like, well, maybe I should kind of like know a little bit more about bachata and this dance. Yeah. And it was a little bit different than salsa, where you had more horns, and it was almost like this Latin jazz, if you will, or Latin
Yeah.
metal. And bachata had more of like a pocket in which it kind of hung out in, and then the guitars kind of weaved around each other. So
Yeah.
I really like that.
Nice. Now, I don't have to really describe Ron here and Sebastian, because they've been a guest at my podcast, and we know their story a little bit. But what I wanted to ask, because I'm surprised in the last few weeks knowing that there's actually a pretty big dance scene particularly in Denver. Uh, Sebastian, as a DJ, I thought there was only just Dominican stuff there, man, and there are other stuff in bachata and salsa as well. You guys didn't tell me that, man.
I mean, yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of everything here.
Yeah.
I remember, yeah, there's bachata here now, but I mean, I've been doing this long enough to where I remember where you used to have to sit in a corner and wait for a bachata song to be played, right? I mean, it was like I would go out. I mean, we'd go out 4 or 5 days a week. Literally, that's how much we used to go out back then. Back when I was younger and could sustain that level of activity, but we'd go out 4 or 5 nights a week, and every single week, I think we went out that often because we were craving like the kind of music that we wanted to listen to, and you just had to like you'd go and you'd sit there for like 2 or 3 hours, and you'd wait, and then you'd rush out, because like, oh my god, they're playing a bachata song. You didn't care what it was.
By the way,
You,
let me ask you this question. What's the reason you became a DJ? Did you become a DJ because you didn't like the other DJs playing the songs, or you just love the songs?
Not liking the other DJs is a strong word, Ryan. That's a strong word. I like to say that I saw a gap in the scene as far as the type of music that was being played.
Yeah.
And when I started to enjoy like sitting around like 3 or 4 friends at my house more than I did going out to the club or to going to a dance social, then I figured, well, maybe you could do something about it, because I had just acquired so much music over the years. I also am very, very lucky, and that I have one of my best friends has been a DJ for many, many years, and he kind of took me under his wing and kind of taught me. So it's not like I just like, oh, I'm gonna just start doing this. So I practiced a lot before I ever did it in public. And the first time I ever did it in public, it was in front of like 500 people. So no pressure, but good time.
I've always said this to people, that I like Sebastian's flow, because one of the reasons he's a good DJ, in my opinion, it's not because he only plays Dominican stuff. Yeah, he plays Dominican stuff if he is in the Dominican room. But once you mix it up, he plays all kinds of ish, man. And that's what I was impressed about, because the timing and the pairing of the music next to each other is just perfect as you flow as a dancer. Now, going back to Ron here, happy birthday, by the way, sir. Now, with all the money you have, why do you stay in Denver, dude? It's a lot of snow.
All the money you have.
Well, the last year's been a little difficult getting out of Denver. There wasn't any place to go. And if it hadn't been for that, I would have been outside of Denver a lot, especially during January and February and March. But I moved out here because I love the mountains. I mean, I wanted to be outside. I'm a past skier. I took a lot of trails out of the mountains and, in my life of skiing. I love the outdoors. So that's what brought me to Denver. I originally was in Illinois, so I'm a transplant of a lot of years.
You are a mambo aficionado. How did that start about? Because did mambo come first or bachata?
Well, salsa did.
Okay.
I started getting back into dancing at a later stage of my life, and after a couple of years, I said, I need to know more about this music. So I started studying the history of it. Then I started collecting the music, and then I found this thing called the DJ program. I could put it all on, and I played with it at home
Yeah.
for quite a while. And I started out DJing as a salsa DJ primarily. Of course, we also did play, the bachata that was around and merengue and stuff every night. And then I got exposed to bachata in a different way and became very interested in it and its history. And I still collect salsa and LPs and LPs of bachata as well. So that's where the money goes.
Do you collect vinyls as well? The
Yeah.
LPs, vinyls, right? Yeah.
I could probably do a good hour and a half vinyl
Nice.
bachata. It would, from back in the day. It's a different style of music. Prior to 1990, when vinyl started going out, started coming in.
Now, Ron, at our age, do we still have the confidence to ask someone to dance with us that are younger than us? And I'm saying it's like as if I think you're much older than me. I just look older than you. That's all, but because I usually dye this. But
Yeah.
I saw you in video dancing with what's that Cubanita's name that used to be a partner of Alex De Silva? She's just like a 12-time dance champion that now lives in Florida or something. What's her name? That I saw you on video.
Alien.
Huh?
Alien.
Yeah,
Alien?
you were dancing bachata
Alien.
with Alien, man. I was like, what the? Look at him. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do. Is there a video of that?
There is a video of that.
Destroy that one too.
Yeah. So, but what do you love about Dominican Republic? Why do you keep going back there? And why bachata? Because you were salsa first.
Yeah, and I still do. Bachata, I did a little bit in the early stages, and I remember the first time I was at a salsa night, and bachata came on, and the lady I was dancing with said, "Well, it's bachata, don't you know?" And I go, "No." She said, "Well, do this and do that and do this," and that was kind of the beginning
That
of
was
it all.
it.
Until I got exposed to Jorge. Jorge did a lot of some sessions with him, and he had an event in Denver, and well, it was kind of interesting. And then suddenly came up this idea of bachata, and people start saying, "Hey, do you know about this? Do you know about that?" And, there's a festival in the Dominican Republic, and that started it off. I ended up going to Vesas, and I know you worked with him at his first festival.
Yeah, we were the one who organized the Santo Domingo Bachata Festival. I still remember that day the hotel staff didn't want bachata; they want salsa.
Well,
But those were back in the days.
yeah, I mean, I went to the second one, and that exposure was something just really clicked at the time I was down there. The rhythm, the live music, and it was my eyes wide open.
Hmm.
And the rhythm just penetrated me. I mean, it just, I think people, connect with various kinds of rhythms more than others.
Yeah.
And the Latin rhythms, when I look back at my career in music from playing piano when I was 6 years old all the way up, the Latin rhythms were the ones when I think back that kind of stuck with me. Jazz, Latin rhythms, stuff like that. And I never thought about it. But then after, getting hooked on the bachata scene and what was going on with that in the Dominican Republic, then it started to, become a lot more clear for me as to, wow, I've been connected to that for a long time, but this one really drives it home.
Now, Alicia, of all the styles of bachata, I know you know the history of the dance, particularly the Latin dancing. Why Dominican? Why traditional? I should say. I shouldn't say Dominican. Some people get offended when I call it Dominican bachata, but why traditional?
Well, of course, when I first started dancing bachata about 20 years ago, I really didn't know there was a difference till I went to the Dominican Republic, um, and saw what it was really like to dance in a colmado or on a beach. Um, the music, the actual uh, the musicians, like Ron said, it just spoke to me more. I just it's a feeling. It's just hard, which is really hard to describe. And I feel differently when I hear, something else that's more, newer or modern. Um, I mean, I appreciate all of it, but it's just what's really spoke to me, and almost just even being in the Dominican Republic kind of made me feel like, well, I'm a little bit closer to Cuba, and then learning about the history and how it evolved. I don't know, just there's just something about it. That's why I feel really passionate about it, and it's just really my favorite.
But you do dance every style of bachata, do you?
I just honestly, yeah, more, I can do, I'll do modern, more urban. I'm going to be honest, I haven't really done a whole lot of sensual.
You haven't rolled your body yet, huh?
I can roll my body, but I haven't really, I can roll. But I just feel if I'm going to dance bachata, I think I want to do what I'm passionate about, what I love, what I'm feeling, and that's all really I could say, about.
Before I asked Renan and Alejandra about this, the event that I had in Hawaii used to be called Dominican Expo, and if you all have noticed, I changed it to Bachata Expo. Why did I do that? And I got a lot of emails by the hardcores about that. By the way, I got a lot of emails, and it's the same answer that I'm gonna say in this video to set the record straight. Because Dominican Expo was not welcoming to other styles. I didn't want to do that. I wanted everyone to come in and they have their own choice to learn which style they prefer, but I want them to dance everything as well. So it's a matter of choice, which, as you all know, have you known me, I prefer dancing the traditional stuff just because, similar to Alicia, I feel it. That's just the way it is. I take my coffee black. That's pretty much it, while some others take their coffee with cream and whatnot, blah, blah, blah. So, getting to Alejandra here and Renan, whoever answer first, do you dance other styles of bachata and why sensual?
I like to dance everything, anything, and everything. I've trained in absolutely everything. I've tried everything: tango, just different styles of ballroom, different styles of bachata, salsa. I just like to do it all. In terms of like what I prefer, I like the flexibility that central bachata gives in terms of like um, the range of the music, and like I could even play a central traditional song and then have more. Honestly, I actually think that all bachata is central. I'm not saying I like to body roll to all bachata. That's not what I'm saying. But it's all
Edwin Ferreras will agree with you on that one.
all bachata is central. And I think it needs to be danced with connection in mind. Not necessarily, again, no, I'm not talking about body rolls. I'm just talking about connection versus. I think sometimes people like to dance bachata with like salsa in mind,
Mm,
for example.
mm.
So I honestly, I like central bachata because I feel like I have a little more flexibility to do more fusion. But I like them all.
Awesome. Renan?
Yeah, this is kind of a loaded question, right? Because
Is it?
yeah, I think so. Because like at the end of the day, like I like to fuse different things, right? Kind of like what Alejandro's saying. However, but it also depends on my mood, right? Like
Sure.
I drank a lot of coffee. I want something a little bit more upbeat, and I'm not really down for like a 80 BPM song. I'm not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like kind of like a little bit more, lazy or whatever, just kind of feeling my partner out a little bit in terms of connection. I want to have something that kind of grooves with that, not like
Sure.
super fast. So it kind of just depends on that for me. Now,
Yeah.
do I do a lot of sensual? Yeah, but I try to keep a lot of rudiments, at least for bachata basics, in there, and not just sit there, just do body rolls, but a lot of movements, and just
Yeah.
tossing my follow around for eight counts. It just doesn't
Yeah.
make sense for that.
Like I always said, it's not a matter of, this is not a religious thing, guys. And to the people who's watching this, it's like we're committed a sin or something. No, it's a matter of what you feel. Bachata is a feeling for me. It's sentimiento, right? So it's a matter of what you feel. I mean, like Sebastian right here. Um, why traditional? Why do you prefer to when you dance? Because is it simplicity?
I mean, I think there's first of all, before I answer that question, I want to say something about body rolls. And I believe that body rolls and sensual have turned into footwork for traditional music. And so what I mean by that is I don't believe that it's fair to classify any style of dance to one particular movement,
Agreed. Yes.
the same way that traditional people hate the fact that every time they talk about the way that they dance, they think of fast footwork. I'm pretty sure that people who prefer to dance a sensual style hate that every time that people refer to that dance, that we talk about a body roll. And to
Yeah.
me, neither one of them are accurate, and you can't boil them down to just that one thing, because both of those styles of dance just are so much more than just that. So I think people who are like very strong about toward traditional music, they need to be very careful not to be hypocritical, because that's just my philosophy in life. Like, I don't like to be hypocritical, right? If
Yep.
I hate that people are always putting me into this one box because I prefer a certain style, then I don't want to turn around and do the same thing with somebody else who prefers a different style either, right? So anyway, I just had to say that because I feel like it's important. Yeah, I mean, I think I prefer, first of all, when I first started listening to music, sensual didn't exist. Sensual as a style of music, I still think doesn't exist. It does exist as a style of dance,
Right.
right? Because the music, I mean, yes, it's changed. There's a lot more remixes and things like that. But depending on who you talk to, if you get really deep into the roots of bachata, a lot of people consider modern music anything like post 1980, right? Once they electrified, but it's true though. Once they
It's true.
electrified the
It's true.
guitar
Yeah.
in bachata music, they consider a lot of like Anthony Santos, Luis Vargas, Frank Reyes. They consider that in the Dominican Republic modern music, right?
Correct.
So again, it's just about being a little bit educated about the music versus the dance. When I first started dancing, it was much more of a modern urban type of style of dance. And then I just got exposed to, the culture and what that is. And then I just slowly preferred that, right? It's not even, and even still, my style of dance, I would say, and I hate to use the word because people go crazy, but it is probably still a little bit more of a fusion, right? There's probably still a lot of modern slash urban elements to it. But I have learned a lot of traditional movements or movements from the island that I just absolutely love. And to me, it's like Dominican blues. My favorite instrument is the guitar. So there's no way that I couldn't love traditional bachata music because it is full of guitar,
Correct.
right? So it just like I don't know how I couldn't love it, and so that's ultimately I think why I enjoy that music and the dance more than anything else.
I have a message to Georgette, who is coming to Hawaii Bachata Expo. I'm gonna have Sebastian play Tudoro Reyes, and I'm going to body roll her every second. Georgette, you cannot body roll Georgette, by the way. She will beat you up. I'm kidding, Georgette. Uh, Run! Have you ever led the body rolls?
This body doesn't roll.
Not you, your partner.
I don't even know how to. I mean, be honest. I don't know how to lead it.
I actually did a workshop fusing traditional and sensual in Calgary. Now, not too many people know this. They didn't shoot. Some people shot a video, but I told them, you do not want to post this. Do not. But I do occasionally because, like Sebastian said, really, in my life, it's all about fusion for me. Yes, I take coffee black. That's fine. But I drink other drinks like tea, and all of that stuff. And I don't mind fusing it. I think the confusion here, correct me if I'm wrong, you guys, about the traditional one and then moderna one, urban, and then of course, sensual, is the music. Not just the music. particularly the speed of the music. Now, many people think that when it comes to traditional, we're talking about a fast BPM. This is, I recently posted on Facebook as like, if you can dance slow, that's when you really feel it now. Especially, it doesn't matter which song it is, because I could dance my own style to bachata to just about any song, and yes, even remix. I could dance my same step, okay, as long as slow, because I don't like fast songs. I really don't. You can only see me dance fast song once, and after that, I'll probably have a heart attack. But am I saying this right, Alicia? Is it probably because there's this misconception about the speed of the music?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, right. So bachata is slow, medium, fast, right? It's not just fast footwork, just going back to what Sebastian said. It's not just moving your feet fast. I love the slow, romantic, traditional, if we want to call it traditional, because going back to
I hate
what
calling it
Sebastian was,
traditional, by the way, but that's okay.
yeah, I don't know if I even want to call it traditional anymore, because really bachata is a fusion. If we want to dance traditional, then we need to be dancing closer to a bolero, right? Style. So it's
Absolutely.
not even bachata is a fusion, but there is the misconception that traditional bachata is fast footwork, and and from what I've learned and what I've seen and when I've traveled, that's not the case.
Yeah.
It's not just fast footwork, how fast I can move my feet. It's about sentimiento. It's about feeling the music. It's about matching your movement to what you're hearing. So
And if you're talking about, if you really want to call yourself traditionalist, then why you're doing footwork? But anyways, other than that, how excited are you guys going to Hawaii? The boss, have you ever been to Hawaii? Because I know I
yes.
invited you one time, but the pandemic came. So,
Yeah, yeah. I was supposed to go last. I have never been to Hawaii, so it will be my first time
oh my
in
God!
Hawaii. So yeah, it'll be you. I'm excited, very
Just
excited.
like, just like the same reactions of the Islanders already, like Edwin and Juan Mejia. You will fall in love with Hawaii because it's a different vibe than any other islands. Don't you agree with this, Rod? It's a different vibe. I don't know how I could describe it, bro.
So you're saying just to buy a one-way ticket? Is that what you're saying?
I'm
Well,
down.
here's the secret, man. Most homeless are there already, and they don't want to get out of Hawaii. Ronnie, because you've been to Dominican Republic many times, how do you compare Hawaii to the islands in DR?
Hmm.
It's totally different. It's like orange and apples, yeah?
Yeah, it's different culturally, obviously, but you've got the beach, the palm trees, the
Hmm.
green, the ocean, right next to you. I mean, that's similar, um, but in a modern setting as far as the city and availability of things and so on. And in the Dominican Republic, I just call it raw.
Yeah, yeah,
And
agreed.
I walk the beach in Hawaii. I'd love to do that in the morning while, very few people are out. I do the same thing in the Dominican Republic. And the beach is the beach, the ocean's the ocean, but that rawness of the Dominican Republic, that's not in Hawaii.
No,
Not to say
it's
that,
not. Not by
yeah,
any means. Yeah.
Hawaii's delightful. I mean, it's just, the temperature, the weather, and, what's there. It's just ultra pleasant.
And everybody looks Filipino, but they're all not Filipino. It's just that they have tan. Uh, most of them are Japanese.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, Ron, yeah, no matter how much he tan, it's still gonna be like that. But that's okay. Just kidding. No, the vibe. What I was talking about is the vibe. How nice people are. Um, it's an interesting thing because when you go from state to state or from city to city, you'd notice the different attitude of people you meet, right? But in Hawaii, it's totally different. It's just like in the islands and on DR where everyone is nice. Also, it's a totally different vibe. Rinan and Alejandra, have you been to Hawaii before?
No, I'm excited to go for the first
First
time.
time.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm
Totally
sure I'll
different.
love it though. Any
Totally different
island.
from Florida, that's for sure.
Yeah. Take me to any island, I'll be happy.
Uh, yeah, the first island you guys should always visit would be Oahu, and that's where we're going. Um, you see the volcano there. You see all kinds of things that you could see. Uh, um, so it's gonna be an exciting thing. What do you guys plan to do, Sebas? Uh, I know that you're flying there, but then are you staying for a week or just the duration of the festival?
I haven't decided yet. I mean, obviously, there's going to be a lot of people that I know that are going there. So I'm just going to kind of coordinate with everyone and see what, people are going to hang out. Maybe I'll hang out for a little bit extra. So, I mean, I generally do that anytime I go somewhere nice. I mean,
Yeah.
the last actual festival I played pre-pandemic was in January of 2020, which was your festival, which was in San Diego.
Oh, I remember that.
And so I flew my daughter to San Diego after the festival,
Is that
and we
right?
stayed there after. We stayed there for a while. Me, Carlos, Ace, Ciara, we all kind of just
Yeah.
hung out for a few days and enjoyed
Yeah.
San Diego. Because I mean, you're on the beach, it's just like you might as well take in January of all times too. You don't want to be in Denver in January. You'd rather be in San Diego.
Well, I guess I'm almost like in the same situation as you guys because I'm in Reno now, but I think it's much worse there when it comes to snow in Colorado.
It might be.
Because I see Ron complaining all the time.
I've got the shovel.
So
no more snow.
I'm staying there for a week, guys. I have this friend. If you guys are interested in staying for a week, I have this friend who has Turo, Turo, that car rental thing. And when I was there last time, he rented it for me for like $10 a day. And it was a great car. So if you guys are ever, all the attendees for the HBX, if you plan to stay there, my wife was there 2 weeks ago, no, 3 weeks ago, and just rented our Airbnb. That's another options there after the festival. You want to stay at the festival at the hotel there for the 3 days, 3 nights duration because of the conveniency, as you know. But if you're staying there for extra days, I'd recommend go Airbnb. You know. Um, Anything else any thoughts that you're excited about going to Hawaii? I know Alejandra and Renan, I told them to teach sensual. Alicia, what are you teaching?
I've been calling it street bachata, which
Okay.
is what I see, because I didn't want to call it Dominican, I didn't want to call it traditional.
Mm.
And it's more about movement and flow. And so that's what I'm going to be teaching, street bachata. And I'm excited about surfing. I want to learn how to surf.
Here's an interesting thing. I think there are more salsa artists coming in than bachata artists. Have you noticed? Magna Gopal recently just like, I want to go to Hawaii. It's like, I can't say no. And then there are others that are big in the salsa scene who are coming, but unfortunately, I don't have any space for them to teach. But okay, then I can just perform. It's like, that's fine. And so I think, Ron, I know that you've seen the last one, and that was kind of small. It's going to double that this time. In fact, it is pretty much set based on the tickets that I sold on the first round. The second round is building up again, but I could see that we are probably going to move into the bigger ballroom. You have not seen this run when you were there, but it's downstairs and it's a bigger ballroom than the other two that we occupied put together. So I'm excited about it. Thank you for coming, guys. It's Oh, by the way, RNA team are coming. How many people are coming, guys? You have a lot of members there, right?
Yeah, we're still working it out. But yeah, we should be bringing in a few teams for sure, so we can perform over there as well.
Yeah, the Bay Area teams here, they've been inquiring. They want to go also. Um, Kathy Reyes team and some other teams in Chicago. and some people in New York who wants to go also. So I think it's going to be great. I didn't plan to do this festival, as you know, because of the pandemic. Nothing in 2021. I was planning everything in 2022, but I figured the vaccines is being emphasized and recommended. I figured that by October, it's either 90% will be vaccinated, or another thing that assures us is that everyone traveling to Hawaii gets tested 72 hours before flying, required by the airlines and the state of Hawaii anyway. So either way, we're going to have temperature testing. We're going to basically make sure that the cleanliness and the everything and the protocol of things to put the virus away will be implemented. But one thing, I was asked this last night, one thing I will never do, and to require a mask. If Ron wants to wear a mask at the festival, I have no problem with that. If Alicia doesn't want to wear the mask, I have no problem with that. I still believe in the freedom of choice. But then the temperature is checked. As you know, the requirements for Hawaii, it's all there. So I hope that the attendees and my artists understand that. Any last words, Sebastian?
Are you separating rooms or are you doing one room?
We're separating rooms. We have 3 rooms. So
Okay.
I plan to have Kizomba, but like last time, Ron, I don't think Kizomba was well attended, and it was understandable because Hawaii doesn't know Kizomba yet, so they don't really have regular social. So it's probably just gonna be salsa and bachata in separate rooms. So what I plan to do
Oh,
on
so you're
Sunday,
separating it by salsa and bachata and then kizomba. Is that what you're doing?
correct? Yeah, so I'm just separating it by salsa and bachata.
Oh,
Yeah. So it's gonna be
so 2
salsa,
rooms.
100%, bachata, 100%. No, don't take me for my word because they're gonna be playing merengue, bolero, and all other stuff. And don't take me for my word in salsa. They're playing pachanga, cha cha cha, whatever. So don't take me for my word. When we say salsa, it's almost like we're talking about the other stuff that relates to it. If that makes
Yeah,
sense.
but
Yeah.
Rodney, I like that though, right? Because like again, like at the very beginning, you said like some people think I just play traditional music, and that's not. First of all, there's shitty music in every genre. Like
Yeah.
there's bad music.
Right,
I mean,
right,
I've heard
right.
bad traditional songs. I've heard bad central songs. I've heard bad songs everywhere. There's bad music in every genre,
Everything.
but there's
Well,
also good music in every genre. And so a lot of times, what I don't like is about like, oh, Sebastian likes to play traditional music, and that's all he does. First of all, I didn't even know that music existed till I was like in my late 20s, right?
yeah.
So I had like 20, almost 30 years of musical experience before that, of all kinds of other genres of music that I
Yeah.
like. And so a lot of times they're like, oh, well, he only plays this one thing, right? And it's not true, right? Like I
Well,
love music. Like good
what we're
music is
gonna
good
do on
music.
Sunday is a little different. We're gonna make it into one room.
Yay.
So we're playing everything there. And I made that choice because this is the idea of Expo. This is the whole idea of Expo, that we want to give a chance for people to learn all the dances from Friday, Saturday, or even at the pre-party. But then we want to give them a chance to be in one room and enjoy all kinds of dances and all kinds of music. And this will also, my DJs will be happy to also spin all kinds of music because as a DJ, that's what they love to do. I mean, you guys don't know Ron. If you've ever went into a salsa room, if he's playing there, he's got great music, man. He's got great music, especially if you dance on two. But don't quote me on that.
Hey, don't put me in a cubby.
Last thought, Alejandra,
Nah, I'm ready to party.
you are? You done?
I'm just glad 2021 wasn't canceled. So that means I'm going to be in the studio working on some stuff, and I'm glad, and having our teams work. So that's also good. So that's pretty much.
It's also great to meet you online, you two. You were highly recommended by Alicia.
Thank you.
Alicia Sanchez is the one who recommended you, but it's good.
Hey.
Yeah.
I
Last
did,
word,
want,
Alicia.
I did want to comment on Alicia's names of her workshops. I think that's a great idea. Street
It is.
bachata. I think
Thank
that was
you.
great.
Street bachata is great. I
What I
like
see on the streets.
I like it. I like it.
That's where it was born, as I
Yeah.
always say.
That's pretty much it. Last words there, Alicia.
I'm super excited to be there, to hang out with my friends, make new friends. And I really love to be all together, mixed together in one big room on Sunday.
Love it. Yeah.
I just love that. We all have to do more of that.
I forgot to tell you that there's a picnic and there is free food. I am spending money for food. We're talking Hawaii, man. So you're not only having beach party, maybe one workshop, just like what you saw in the video with Zeke and Georgette were teaching merengue there, 2010 years ago. But yeah, we're catering food. So it's gonna start from 12 o'clock until probably until the sun, sets. Um, that's the thing you need to know, because what that means is that the workshop on Sunday would be early, like 9 a.m. until it finished literally at 12, and then we all walk to the beach. It will take us 10 minutes from the hotel to go to the San Souci beach. Some people will be there early to save some space and tables and all of that stuff. But just to remind everyone that, yeah, on Sunday we will have half a day workshop, okay, and then we're gonna go to the picnic area, to the beach area, and then by night we're gonna have Halloween costume party, Halloween costume contest. We're not gonna have performance on Sunday, you guys. So all performances will be Friday and Saturday only. Do not forget, we only have two themes at night, guys. This includes my artist. Friday, casual, whatever you want to wear. Just don't come naked. You know, it's not Berkeley, California. Uh, but Saturday, we have the Hawaiian theme. Everybody wears Hawaiian theme. I don't care shapes or form. Okay, and then Sunday is Halloween. So whatever you want to go. Last time when we had that contest, it was Borat and Pamela Anderson who won. And that pass that they won in 2010 is still good for this year. So there you go. So thank you guys, Ronnie, Sebastian, Alejandra, Renan, RNA, Alicia, the street dancer herself. Thank you. Go Denver.
Yeah, thank
Thank
you.
Thank you,
you.
Rodney.
Yay.
See ya.
See you guys.
See ya.
See ya.